Welcome back to our second day of the 2014 Nebraska Women's Basketball Preview. I'm Jeff Griesch with Coach Yorey, back again here at the Hendricks Complex. Yesterday we took a look at Nebraska's upper class players with All-American Jordan Hooper, Emily, Katie, Haley, Sample, and the rest of the junior class. Today we're going to take a look at the underclassmen, Coach, and we'll start with Rachel Theriot, point guard, who's going to play a really important role for you this year. She played last year, 28 starts for you, Big Ten all-freshman team, but she played the whole season hurt. She had off-season foot surgery and was progressing well, got a little bit sidetracked in the preseason with an ankle injury before the first exhibition game. How's Rachel, and how big of a role is she going to play in replacing Lindsay Moore this year?
Last year she had to play through a lot of pain. It wasn't an easy thing for her to play through, and then of course, as you mentioned, she had the off-season foot surgery, and it took her some time to get back, so conditioning is still not quite there yet, largely because of all the time that she's had off. But she's a talented kid. She's a kid that passes the ball equally as well as Lindsay did last year for us. You know, in some ways in a different way, but she's a bigger guard that can see over the defense. We're expecting her. You talk about expanding some of our players' games. She's somebody that we need to have her do more for us, both in, you know, and particularly in the area of scoring and passing. And
then moving on with the sophomore class, Sadie Murren, another player who was injured a good portion of last year with a back injury. She had a good off season as well, and you know, looking from the end of last year when she was finally kind of starting to get back in the flow of things to where she is now coming into the season, Sadie can help you a lot more this year than she did last year.
Yeah, and Sadie's such a pleasure to coach. You know, the things that I appreciate about her is she's a very good communicator, which is very important in our offense and defensive systems. And so she brings that on a daily basis. She's a consistent practice player. She's going to bring it every day. We know what we're going to get with Sadie. And she's developed her offensive skill. And last year, again, you mentioned she struggled with a back injury that really set her back. And then once she got back, it was a little bit too late for her to get into the rotation. But she's someone who's definitely going to compete for playing time.
And her footwork looks good. And you know that outside shot is a good outside shot to stretch defenses. Moving on to Nebraska's freshman, we'll start with another guard, another Nebraska player, Tvrdy from Seward, Nebraska, a teammate of Emily, Katie in high school. Played for her dad, Tom, at Seward, won over 100 games in a row, won 3 state titles, ho-hum. Will be the first Nebraska player in history to be part of a mother-daughter combination in the Nebraska program, because her mother, Shelley, also played at Nebraska, so that's exciting. And you know, she has all these storylines, the kind of storylines that are easy to write about.
Right.
She can also play a little bit.
Yeah, she really can. And I think she was a little bit underrated at the high school level because of the system that Seward plays. You look at Emily, Katie, of course, played for Tom, and they're a very team-oriented basketball program that they're not going to ask any one kid to get you 25 on a given night. And so Hannah's been used to playing very much a team system. And so from that standpoint, she fits very well into what we do because that's who we are as well. So she's come here and really, you know, showed some very good things, showed that she can shoot the ball, which we already knew, but also has proven that she can get to the basket. And you know, just like a lot of kids, there's a learning curve with freshmen, but she's picked things up reasonably well.
And physically, she doesn't look like a freshman.
No,
I mean,
she absolutely
looks
does.
like she can bring it to you.
Yep.
Big freshman, backcourt to front court, Allie Havers, 6'5" center, one of the tallest players in Nebraska history, from Michigan. Not only is she long and lean and athletic, 3-sport star, and this player's got a pretty high ceiling as you forecast the future.
Yeah, there is no question that we're excited about Allie. You mentioned her physical attributes. She's a kid that has good size. She's very thin, which is her weakness right now, but she also runs well, she jumps well, she moves well. She's got pretty good court vision. She shoots the ball with a very nice touch. So she's got, you know, a really good upside. The deal with her is that she just didn't play a lot of club basketball, kind of like Jordan. Jordan didn't play a lot of club basketball, and yet Jordan has proven that coming from a high school program to here was a jump for her, but at the same time she's made the adjustment because of her athleticism and her work habits. I think Allie's in the same boat from that standpoint. May take her a little bit of time because of the pace of the game, but we think in the long run she's going to be a great player for us.
And the last newcomer for the Huskers, a Canadian, the 4th Canadian in school history, Esther Ramacieri. Her father's Italian, her mother's Haitian, she's from Canada, she speaks English and French, international flavor in Nebraska women's basketball program. Just one player doing all that work for you.
Well, she's definitely way ahead of me. She speaks 4 languages. I barely speak English. So,
I agree.
Okay, so hey, come on now. But she's, you know, a young person who's, again, the speed of the game right now is a little bit much for her, but we think that she's worked hard, she's done the right things, and we're excited about her future.
And she kind of recruited herself to Nebraska and has already shown her love of basketball and her love of the Nebraska program. She is happy to come here every single day, and you can tell, and those are the kind of players that are great to be around. That's going to do it for our preview of the underclassmen on the Nebraska women's basketball team this season. Join us again tomorrow for another part of our preview. We're going to look at the non-conference schedule tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. For Coach Yori, I'm Jeff Griesch. Go Big Red.